Hello boys and girls, and welcome back to the next chapter of the Castle of Tangled Magic. Let's have a quick think about what happened in the last chapter. Oh, that was right, there was that mysterious storm, wasn't there? And the sun tower was damaged? Yes, that's right. And Olia, she was sad but also a little bit excited. Can we remember why? Yes, she was sad because the sun tower was broken and it collapsed into the great hall below, and they were meant to be having a feast that night, and her family's patchwork blanket is in the hall. But she was also a bit excited because she thinks that means she might be able to get up into the secret attic that she's not managed to find yet. Now, let's read the next chapter, which is about Dinara and Luca. Can anyone remember who Dinara and Luca are? They're her school friends from the village, aren't they? Let's find out what happens next. Dinara and Luca are twins, but they don't look alike. Dinara is tall and slim, with a wide smile and short brown hair that she teases into spikes. She often looks like she's about to break off into a run or climb a tree. Right now, she's bouncing on her toes at the water's edge, skimming stones along the lake. Luca is sat on an upturned rowing boat, drawing inky monsters into his notebook. He's shorter and broader than Dinara and has lighter hair that flops over his face. He does everything slowly and carefully, always carries a fat black notebook under his arm, and at every opportunity draws pictures in it with a fine black pen. I'm in between Dinara and Luca, both in height and build, and the way we go about things too. I'm not as speedy or impulsive as Dinara, but I'm not as wary as Luca either. I like to think that I balance them out, that I'm the midpoint of their seesaw. Hello, Your Highness. Luca looks up from under his hair and grins as I sprint towards them. Sometimes Dinara and Luca and the others at school tease me about living in a castle and being descended from royalty, but I don't think they mean any harm by it. For hundreds of years, my ancestors were rich in a land of very poor people. They gathered treasures while the rest of the villagers went hungry. The thought makes me feel hot with shame and guilt, and I have to fan it away by reminding myself that was a long time ago and things are very different now. After the revolution that promised to make everyone equal, Castle Mila was stripped of all its treasures. Now we live the same as everyone else, only in a bigger house. Can you believe the storm last night? I lean over to catch my breath. Are the houses in the village okay? What storm? Both Dinara and Luca stare at me in confusion. You can't have slept through it, I ask, incredulous. I've never heard a storm like it. It shook the castle walls and made part of the Sundome collapse. Are you joking? Dinara peers between the spruce trees, trying to glimpse up at the castle. No, come and see. I beckon Dinara and Luca out of the grove and point up at my home. In a rush to reach my friends, I hadn't looked back at Castle Mila myself until now, so the sight of the Sundome is quite a shock. It looks like the wind blew itself into a fist and punched the dome full force. A hole has been torn in one side, and the thin spire that reached all the way to the stars has snapped. I stare at the damage in dismay. Sundome should be shining in the sky, not tumbling towards the ground. But as my gaze is drawn into the darkness through the hole, my only thoughts become of what might lie inside. I wish I could see into the hidden attic, but it's too shadowed and too far away. Whoa, that looks bad. Luca's eyebrows draw together. But it doesn't make any sense. We didn't hear a storm last night. Nothing in the village is damaged, and nobody said anything this morning. Maybe just the dome collapsed, Dinara suggests. Your castle is pretty old, Olia. I shake my head. There really was a scary storm. I saw it. The winds were howling around the castle and screaming down the chimney. You must have heard something. And the worst thing is, the Great Hall. It's a mess. My parents have gone to the village to get help, but there's a good chance at the feast tonight it might be cancelled. Oh, that's a shame. Luca's face falls. I was looking forward to playing music with the band. I've been practising. Is there anything we can do to help? Dinara asks. Yes. What I'm about to suggest is making my conscience buzz around me like a hoverfly, but I quickly silence it. Will you come and help me get my patchwork blanket that was hanging in the Great Hall? I want to check it's all right. Of course we will. We know how important that is to your family. Dinara starts running towards the castle. Is it safe in there? Luca takes a slow breath in, like he always does when he gets anxious. Then he tucks his notebook under his arm, and together we run after Dinara. Papa says there's broken glass and splintered wood on the floor, but we're wearing boots. What about Dome? Luca stares up at it. What if it collapses still further? It won't. I shake my head firmly enough to squash the seed of worry that had just sprouted. It was the storm that made the dome collapse, and that's gone now. A ray of light breaks through the overcast sky and falls through the hole in the Sundome, making something inside glow dazzlingly bright. I shade my eyes and squint up at it. What can you see? Luca asks. There's something shining inside the dome. My words fizz with excitement on my tongue. What, like treasure? Dinara turns around, but carries on running backwards. Dinara always hopes to find real treasure, gold, silver or jewels when we explore the castle. Maybe something even better. My mind whirs with the thoughts of a key that is not a key, but something with the power to unlock magic. I don't understand what Babusha thinks is hidden inside the Sundome, but I'm desperate to find out. Come on, I shout to Luca, and I race after Dinara. I overtake her and lead the way to the west entrance of the castle, because I don't want to go through the kitchen and disturb Babusha. The west entrance is a huge set of wooden doors that rise at least 3 times taller than me. If the doors opened, they would lead straight into the Great Hall, but they swelled shut long ago, and now we leave them closed. There are, however, 2 loose panels in the bottom corner of the left door that I always sneak through. I pull them aside so Dinara and Luca can enter the hall. Then I follow them. I hold my breath and brace myself for the mess I expect to find, but it's still a shock. I stare at the devastation, wide-eyed. I can't even see the wooden floor because it's buried beneath a mound of debris. Broken planks and green and gold painted panels of wood from the fallen ceiling are jumbled amongst smashed jam jars, squashed pumpkins, scattered leaves and flowers, and baskets spilling fruits and berries. A cracked clay statue of one of the harvest spirits reaches out from the chaos like she wants to be saved. My hands cover my mouth in shock. I know Papa said it was a bit of a mess, but I wasn't prepared for this. This is terrible, Dinara grows. I think you're right about the feast not going ahead. Well, if my parents come back with enough helpers, we might be able to clear it up in time. I try to sound confident as my gaze is drawn up to the ceiling high above us. There is a huge hole on one side, but I'm at the wrong angle to see through it, so I start walking across the hall, wincing as my boots crunch over the debris. Let's just find the blanket to start with. It must be over there somewhere. I scan the far end of the hall looking for the blanket. It isn't hanging on the wall anymore, and my chest tightens as I think of it torn and crumpled in amongst the mess on the floor. As we draw close to the wall, I notice it looks different. A few of the logs that make up the wall have slumped down, revealing a dark, empty space behind them. A soft breeze flows from the space and whispers in my ear about secrets and magic and locks and keys. I feel myself being pulled towards the tumbled logs, and I pick up speed. "Be careful, Olia," Lucas says. "That wall don't look safe." "There's something behind it." I stare into the dark and my heartbeat quickens. "It's a hidden staircase." Dinara runs to catch up with me, her feet crashing through the mess. "It must lead up to the Sundome." Excitement bursts through me. "Oh, I've been looking for this all of my life, and lots of my ancestors have looked for it too. No one has ever found a way. Babusha says even the spirits can't get up there, and she says..." I pause, unsure how to explain Babusha's talk of a key that unlocks magic. "She says incredible things are hidden up there." "Treasure?" Dinara beams. "The most amazing treasure ever." I look from Dinara to Luca, a huge smile growing on my face. "And we're going to find it." Wow, they found the secret staircase. I wonder if there is treasure in the Sundome after all. Join me next time to find out. Bye for now.